Welcome to Smartphone Studio. This is Philip Tracy. We're going to kick off our smartphone reviews with a really unique flagship device from LG. This is the G5. Let's see how it does and where it ranks on our leaderboard. I like its odds. The LG G5 was released on all major carriers in the US in April this year. Runs off of Google's Android 6.0 Marshmallow operating system. That was the latest version of the OS at the time, having recently been replaced with 7.0 Nougat. LG's been pretty good about getting their devices updated, so G5 users can expect to see 7.0 by either the end of this year or most likely early 2017. The phone weighs a very light 160 grams and is 5.88 inches tall, putting it right in between the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. It has a 5.3-inch IPS display that's coated in Gorilla Glass 4. That display has a resolution of 1440 by 2560 pixels. That gives it an incredibly high 554 ppi pixels per inch. Combined with the over 800 nits of brightness, the display is sharp, not exhibiting any softness or blurriness in text or images. One standout feature for the G5 is its always-on display. It keeps a small portion of the screen dimly lit when your phone is on standby mode, displaying the time and any customizable notifications. LG says it takes up just 8.8% battery life per hour when the feature is enabled. The IPS technology may not have the deep blacks or wide contrasts of an AMOLED display, but we found the screen to offer a very pleasant visual experience with rich, accurate colors and an even, pleasing white balance for web browsing. That 800 plus nits of brightness helps the display in bright conditions, and we only had some problems viewing the screen in the brightest of Texas suns. The smartphone is made of unibody aluminum, though many reviewers were insistent that it was made of plastic when it was released. This forced LG to release a statement clarifying that the device is coated with a microdized aluminum primer, so it's made of aluminum but purposefully altered to feel like plastic. Take that as you wish. What makes the LG G5's hardware stand out is its modularity. Though LG considers the phone to have a unibody design, the bottom portion below the screen can actually be detached, which allows the battery to be replaced. You can even replace the entire bottom section with what LG calls friends or attachments. Unfortunately, the G5 doesn't have too many friends, and those it does have cost a bit of money to get. Examples of those friends include a camera attachment that adds some zoom and an extra battery pack to your phone, as well as a dedicated DAS attachment for enhanced audio quality. We found the process of removing the phone's bottom section to be rather difficult, and we believe you should therefore judge the phone by everything else it has going for it. Consider the modularity an added bonus that you can either choose to use or leave alone. Now, the internals include a Qualcomm Snapdragon 820 processor. We didn't notice any performance issues flipping through the screens or loading any apps. Everything was quite fast to the touch. The GPU within the device is an Adreno 530 that also performed quite admirably in our tests with no evidence of slowdowns while playing graphic-intensive games. Other hardware components include an accelerometer, gyroscope, proximity sensors, compass, barometer, and color spectrum for all of those fancy apps you want to use, and all of the interior features found within the operating system. Now, onto the cameras, one of the ever-decreasing number of ways a phone maker can have their devices stand out. The LG G5's cameras are fantastic. Yes, cameras, as the device has two rear-facing cameras, one 16-megapixel normal focal length lens with a very low 1.8 aperture, and a second 8-megapixel f2.4 wide-angle lens. The main camera has 3-axis optical image stabilization, which is the only part of the camera we felt really only performed okay. The cameras also have LED flash, and switching between the two was very quick. Having that extra lens paid off in a number of situations. Image quality of the main 16-megapixel camera was excellent. With one of the best macro abilities of any smartphone we've seen, the camera exhibited sharp details, lively, accurate colors, fast autofocus, and above-average bokeh. Zooming into an image revealed very little softening or grain. It even performed well in low light conditions, though the OIS made taking a picture in low light pretty tricky. The 8-megapixel camera was less impressive, with pretty significant detail loss when zooming in, and significant increase of distortion. but it serves a purpose for landscape or cityscape photographers. My favorite feature, and something photographers will appreciate, are its manual controls, giving photographers the ability to manual focus, adjust white balance, ISO, shutter speed, and a number of other things. The LG G5 also has an 8 megapixel f2.0 front-facing camera for selfies more detailed than I would have ever liked. Of course, the LG G5 doesn't run on stock Android. LG has put its own UX 5.0 software skin on top of the OS. It has a light, unobtrusive look and feel, giving Android some boosted features and a fresher, more friendly look. When the device was released, LG had completely done away with the app tray, but after many complaints, the South Korean company brought it back, giving users a number of ways to customize their home screens. Finally, going around the device, you'll find a headphone jack and IR sensor on its top, a SIM card and SD card slot for expandable storage on the right side. On the bottom sits the newest USB-C charging standard for fast charging, as well as the speaker grill. On the left side of the phone is where you'll find the volume rocker. And if you're wondering how to turn the phone on and off, you'll have to look to the back, where LG has placed the fingerprint sensor, not unlike the Nexus 6P. However, on this device, that sensor is pressable, doubling as an on and off switch. We found the implementation a bit clunky, and having that on and off switch on the back was inconvenient when trying to turn the phone off while it was resting. And even adjusting to turn the device off when you're holding it required unnecessary effort. This flagship device also has NFC and infrared ports, so you can use it as your TV's remote. It supports FM radio, and it has a micro SD card slot for up to 256 gigabytes of storage. Moving on to connectivity, we're going to start with sound. The outward-firing speakers on the LG G5 performed only average. That probably wasn't helped by the fact that the speaker grill was on the bottom of the device. We noticed it didn't get as loud as some of the other smartphones we tested it against, like the Nexus 6P, but clarity was decent. It should work for most people. The LG G5's wireless LAN supports 802.11, ABGN, and the big one, AC. It also supports dual band, Wi-Fi Direct, DLNA. It features Bluetooth 4.2. Again, for those audio fans out there, it does support aptX HD for higher audio quality for Bluetooth devices. A lot of smartphones out there, even high-end smartphones, some of them don't support aptX HD, so those of you with your Bluetooth devices will really appreciate that this one does. The LG G5 also has NFC, an infrared port as previously mentioned. It supports FM radio. Now back in April, the LG G5 was released at a price of $650 for the 32 gigabyte edition. It can now be found for under $500. Well, there you have it, the LG G5. And as you can probably tell, we like the device quite a bit. Now after using it for several days, we found Wi-Fi and LTE speeds to be very good, though the battery life wasn't so good. With heavy use, you probably won't make it through a full day. Light use, most likely you will, but that replaceable battery is definitely going to be helpful. Now overall, we strongly recommend the LG G5. We're going to give it an 8.3 out of 10. Some of its pros include a great screen, nice form factor, good connectivity, and an excellent camera. Some of the cons is that the battery life doesn't last very long. The modularity still needs some work. It's difficult to replace the battery. And the back is made of aluminum, so it should probably feel like aluminum. So where does it rank in our smartphone ranker here? Well, we're going to be friendly. And since we like the device, the G5 goes at the top of flagship high-end devices. Stay tuned for next time, and we'll see if this changes at all.